What if the famous 10,000 steps per day began as clever branding, not medical law, and you could get most health benefits with fewer steps? Historians and public health experts at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention trace the number to a 1965 Japanese pedometer name, not a clinical guideline. Modern evidence in the Lancet Public Health Journal shows strong links between steps and health, but with clear plateaus. In this video, you will learn real sweet spots, how pace and sitting breaks matter, what trackers get wrong, and a simple 7-day plan. There is a bonus template at the end, so stay to the final slide. Disclaimer: this video is educational, not medical advice. Next up, where did 10,000 even come from? The catchy target began with manpoke, meaning 10,000 steps meter. Public health summaries from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention describe it as a marketing hook, not a scientific threshold. Decades later, researchers tested the idea with wearables. A study in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal found that mortality risk in older women fell well before 10,000 and leveled near 7,500. Broad overviews in the Lancet Public Health Journal echo this. The biggest gains show up when people move from very low activity into moderate ranges. Translation: 10,000 is motivating, but not magical. Now, how does this translate to living longer? Pooling data across large cohorts, analyses in the Lancet Public Health Journal show that each increase in daily steps cuts death risk, with the steepest drop between very low steps and about 7,000 to 8,000. In older adults, the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal reports a plateau around 6,000 to 8,000. In people under 60, improvements often continue toward 8,000 to 10,000 before leveling. You do not need perfection to win big. If this evidence-first approach is your thing, please tap subscribe so you catch the next Mythbuster. Up next, your heart and blood vessels. Reviews in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology link an extra 1,000 daily steps with roughly 15% lower all-cause mortality on average, and another 500 steps with about 7% lower cardiovascular death. Combined evidence in the Lancet Public Health Journal shows diminishing returns beyond roughly 8,000 to 12,000, with no signal of harm at higher counts in healthy adults. In plain terms, the first several thousand steps do the heavy lifting for your heart. Now let us look at day-to-day blood sugar. A meta-analysis in the PLOS1 journal shows structured walking lowering hemoglobin A1C by about 0.5 of a percentage point in type 2 diabetes, a clinically meaningful change. A laboratory trial in the Diabetes Care Journal found that 2-minute light walks every 20 minutes during prolonged sitting reduced post-meal glucose and insulin spikes by roughly 1/4 to 1/3. A practical habit emerges. Take a 10 to 15-minute walk after meals to smooth blood sugar. Next up, can small step increases nudge blood pressure down? Evidence summarized in the Journal of Human Hypertension shows that adding approximately 2,000 steps per day lowered systolic pressure by about 3 to 4 millimeters of mercury and diastolic by 1 to 2. Those benefits did not require hitting exactly 10,000. The American Heart Association notes that pairing walking with a heart-friendly eating pattern such as DASH multiplies the effect. Expect gentle, steady improvements that compound over months. Now, what happens to cholesterol and triglycerides? Population data in the BMC Public Health Journal link higher daily steps and more frequent sit breaks with higher HDL cholesterol and lower triglycerides. Changes in LDL are typically modest unless diet quality and weight also improve, which aligns with cardiology guidance. Mechanistically, regular walking boosts enzymes that clear blood fats after meals. The takeaway: your lipid profile gets friendlier even without dramatic weight loss. Speaking of weight, will the scale move? Analysis in the Annals of Family Medicine Journal suggest walking without diet changes yields modest weight loss, partly because appetite and compensation can offset calories burned. Yet health markers still improve when the scale barely budges. Research in the Journal of the American Heart Association links higher step counts to preventing long-term weight gain and trimming waist and visceral fat, the riskier fat. Best results come from pairing steps with adequate protein and a calorie plan. Now, how much does pace matter? Public health scientists including teams referenced by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, use roughly 100 steps per minute as a marker of brisk, moderate-intensity walking, the talk test where you can talk but not sing. The JAMA Internal Medicine Journal reports that once total steps are accounted for, stepping speed adds little extra survival benefit. Still, sprinkling in brisk minutes strengthens fitness and stamina, helping you sustain more activity. Think of intensity as a bonus that supports your volume. What about the length of each walk? Research summarized in the Mayo Clinic Proceedings Journal shows that even 2 to 5 minute bouts contribute to meaningful health gains when your total for the day is adequate. The World Health Organization removed the old 10-minute minimum and now emphasizes that every minute counts. That means micro walks between tasks are not cheating. They are smart design. If you are finding this useful, subscribe now so you never miss simple, science-based tactics. Now let us flip the script. Too much sitting. In the Diabetes Care Journal trial, breaking up sitting with a 2-minute light walk every 20 minutes cut post-meal glucose and insulin substantially. A harmonized analysis in the Lancet Journal indicates that the risks of long sitting are largely offset when people achieve about an hour of moderate activity per day, which is similar to accumulating 8 to 10,000 steps. A simple rule works. Move 1 to 5 minutes every 30 to 60 minutes. Next, tailored guidance for older adults. Findings in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal show benefits appearing by roughly 4,000 steps per day and leveling near 6 to 8,000 in older women. For mobility, work in the Journal of Rheumatology ties about 6,000 steps per day to maintaining walking function in knee osteoarthritis. Practical tips from the American Heart Association include soft surfaces, supportive footwear, gentle balance drills, and slow progression. Aim for consistency over perfection. Now, a plan for type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and obesity. The PLOS. One journal meta-analysis shows that even an extra 500 to 1,000 steps per day over baseline improves glycemia over time. Post-meal walking stands out as a high-impact habit in the Diabetes Care Journal. Build gradually. Add 500 steps per day each week until you reach a sustainable daily average. Include simple resistance moves, such as sit-to-stands to improve insulin action. Small, repeatable steps beat heroic one-off workouts. Next, women, men, shift workers, and true beginners. Analyses in the Lancet Public Health Journal show step benefits for longevity are similar in women and men. The World Health Organization suggests shift workers focus on weekly totals and safer indoor options to work around odd hours and fatigue. For beginners, the American Heart Association encourages slow ramps. Add about 500 steps per day each week, protect your joints, and mix short bouts with one slightly longer walk. Up next, can you trust your step number? Validation studies summarized in the Preventing Chronic Disease Journal from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that wrist trackers can overcount by 10 to 35% with arm motions and undercount when pushing a stroller. Phones may undercount because you do not always carry them. Hip-worn devices are often most accurate for steady walking. Best practice: stick with one device and placement. Watch trends, and avoid obsessing over exact numbers. Now, let us beat heat, air, and busy schedules. When it is too hot or polluted, the World Health Organization recommends indoor options such as mall laps, home walking workouts, stairs, or a treadmill. The American Heart Association advises cooler hours, hydration, and breathable clothing in hot climates. Use habit stacking to save time. Walk while coffee brews, pace during phone calls, or park farther away. These micro-choices can add thousands of steps without adding calendar time. So why do studies sometimes disagree? The JAMA Internal Medicine Journal often shows plateaus around 7,500 steps in older adults, while a meta-analysis in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology finds added gains up to roughly 11 to 12,000 in younger cohorts. The Annals of Family Medicine Journal notes that weight loss from walking alone is small, yet health markers improve, which can confuse expectations. Cadence effects often shrink after accounting for total steps, as reported in JAMA Internal Medicine and the Lancet Public Health Journal, because fast walkers also tend to walk more. Differences in age, devices, follow-up time, and confounders explain most clashes. So what should you aim for? Guidelines from the World Health Organization start with this: move more and sit less. A practical floor is 3,000 to 5,000 steps per day to exit the very low activity zone. The Lancet Public Health Journal shows 6,000 to 8,000 delivering most risk reduction for many. The European Journal of Preventive Cardiology points to 8,000 to 10,000 as a strong goal for many adults, and 10,000 to 12,000 or more for performance or weight maintenance if you enjoy it. Cadence cue. Include some brisk minutes around 100 steps per minute for fitness. Next, your 7-day starter plan. Days 1 and 2. Measure your baseline and add 500 steps per day, a gradual increase style endorsed by the World Health Organization. Days 3 and 4. Add a 10 to 15 minute after dinner walk to smooth glucose, a tactic supported by the Diabetes Care Journal. Days 5 and 6. Add 2 to 3 minute movement breaks each work hour, which analyses in the Lancet Journal connect to lower sitting risk. Day 7. Include one 20-minute brisk session to train your engine, a cue used by Centers for Disease Control and Prevention educators. Review your weekly average and nudge next week by 5 to 10%. Final step, your takeaways and safety checklist. The Lancet Public Health Journal highlights that the biggest wins arrive by 6,000 to 8,000 steps per day, with added gains toward 10,000 for many adults. The PLOS-1 Journal and the Journal of Human Hypertension show that steps improve blood sugar and blood pressure even when weight barely changes, and the BMC Public Health Journal links steps to healthier HDL and triglycerides. Movement trains your heart, muscles, and metabolism to work better every day. Safety note: this is educational, not medical advice. If you have heart, lung, joint, metabolic, or neurological conditions, or if you are pregnant, consult a licensed professional, increase gradually, wear supportive footwear, and stop for chest pain, severe breathlessness, dizziness, or joint swelling as advised by the American Heart Association and the World Health Organization. If this helped, subscribe for more evidence-based guides, and tell us in the comments which health topic you want next.